Well, for more analysis on our top story, I'm now joined live by Belgrade-based political analyst Aleksandar Pavić. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. Well, Radovan Karadzic said today, as we've just heard from his lawyer, who I spoke to about an hour ago, who visited Karadzic in prison today, we understand that Karadzic said that he's actually looking forward to seeing Ratko Mladić so that they can expose what he calls the truth about the Bosnian war. What does he mean by that? I mean, should we expect any new revelations about the war?
Well, yes, I imagine there will be very many new revelations. The point is how much of the global public will be able to hear about those. If they will get the same sort of publicity that Milosevic did, there is some slight chance. On the other hand, the Hague Tribunal's record does not promise any sort of a fair trial, but at least both Karadzic and Mladić will use it as an arena to voice their side of the story and the side of the war that has been neglected by Western media.
And what sort of things could they be talking about? I'm asking you to speculate on what these sort of revelations could be.
Well, I think the main revelations will have to do with Western involvement in the breakup of Yugoslavia, in starting the Bosnian Civil War, in helping Muslim fundamentalists get the upper hand in Bosnia and actually take over Bosnia. Western support in terms of mujahideen being imported into Bosnia to fight on the Muslim side against the Serbs, the presence of bin Laden in Bosnia, then the real story about Srebrenica, which has been totally twisted and manipulated in the Western media. I mean, those are actually very big news items, very big issues, and it won't be comfortable for the Western media, and I think they will try to ignore it as much as they possibly can.
Can you explain what you mean by this twisting of facts concerning Srebrenica? People aren't denying the fact that that massacre of over 7,000 Bosnian Muslims didn't happen, are they?
Well, actually, a massacre did take place. The thing is, there were massacres on both sides, and the first dispute has to do with the numbers themselves. The number of 7,000 to 8,000 has actually never been ascertained, even by the Hague Tribunal so far. Actually, forensic data tell a whole different story, but that has never been aired. Forensic data have pointed so far to less than 2,000 total bodies, of which only 400 or so actually show signs of being executed. But the thing is, we don't know who did it to this day, nor is it known actually the nationality and the identification of all the victims. So it's actually a story that has yet to get its real hearing in the global media.
All right, well, let's talk about the implications, the consequences of this arrest now and what it means for Serbia. We've heard a little earlier that there are fears that this arrest could cause further division within Serbia. Would you agree with that?
Well, I think it'll just sharpen the division. The division is already there. This won't change too many minds. Before this happened, even the rigged opinion polls that are being put through the controlled media in Serbia were showing more than 60% of the people being against Ratko Mladić being turned over to The Hague. And that will certainly not fall. Actually, his popularity may even rise, just like it did with Milosevic when he actually was transferred to The Hague and his trial was broadcast. So actually, the divisions will only deepen, and actually only a minority of people in Serbia support this kind of thing. And the important thing will be just for everyone to hear this side of the story, and this is what Karadzic and his lawyers were talking about. So in that sense, that's the only good side to come out of all this.
So would you then disagree with those who are saying that this is a major event for the country? This, in fact, is a symbolic change. It means that the Western perception of the country will change over Serbia, and indeed, Serbia's past, in some ways, the turbulent past will be put to rest, and this means the passageway to a new future. Would you then disagree with that?
Yes, I would, because, you see, the thing is, now we will have a long trial, which will last 2 or 3 years, maybe even longer. Then, if they stay true to their path, as they did with the past Hague judgments, this will just give fuel to the fire, meaning that all those who perceive themselves as victims, whether they're real or not, will ask for satisfaction, meaning you will have loads of new lawsuits coming in. You will have probably the the revival of the lawsuit that Bosnia launched against Serbia for genocide, I mean, this just gives more fuel to the fire. Instead of putting things to rest, it'll probably radicalize things once again. So this actually does not serve any sort of a good cause in any way. Serbia did get a point, but I mean, I was listening to some of the statements today, even from the EU, and the enlargement minister, for example, the enlargement commissioner, File, he said, well, this is just, today Serbia is a step closer to the EU than yesterday, but they still need to do major reforms, etc. So there are other conditions that will be still here, like being really cooperative with Kosovo to the point of recognition, internal reforms, further decentralization of the country, possible new hotspots in Vojvodina and Raška, or the Sanjak as they call it. So actually this just is more of the same, and maybe even a little bit more of the same.
Very interesting to hear what you have to say. Very interesting. Thanks very much indeed for sharing us your thoughts. Aleksandar Pavić joining me live there
Thank you.
in Belgrade.